From ballet dancer to UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, Audrey Hepburn truly rose from the ground up. But it wasn't just her looks that took her to the top. It was her kindness, grace, and humble heart. Despite all the fame, she stayed grounded and chose to live a simple, family-centered life, pouring her love into her children. So the big question is, did her children carry that same spark she had? Let's dive into today's video and find out. Audrey Hepburn wasn't just a Hollywood icon. She was the kind of person who left a lasting mark through her grace and quiet strength. Sure, she lit up the screen in classics like Breakfast at Tiffany's, Roman Holiday, and My Fair Lady, but there was so much more to her than glamour and fame. She was born in Belgium and grew up in the Netherlands during World War II, which made her grow up fast and gave her a deep sense of empathy. Even when she became one of the biggest stars in the world, she stayed humble and down to earth. More than anything, Audrey loved being a mom. She had two sons, Ferrer and Luca Dotti, and she happily stepped back from the spotlight to focus on raising them. To them, she wasn't a movie star, just their mom who made their meals and gave them hugs before bedtime. Later in life, Audrey poured her heart into helping others. As a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, she traveled the world to support children suffering from war and poverty. She didn't just show up for the cameras, she truly cared, and people felt it. Maybe that deep empathy came from her own childhood, growing up during World War II. Experiencing hunger, fear, and loss firsthand gave Audrey a heart that understood suffering. So, Audrey's beauty wasn't just skin deep. You can feel it in the lives of her kids. But before we dive into that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It keeps the love flowing and the stories coming. Number 1. Hepburn Ferrer. Hepburn Ferrer was born on July 17, 1960 in Lucerne, Switzerland, to two very famous parents, Audrey Hepburn and Mel Ferrer, an American actor and director. From the beginning, Sean's life was filled with art, travel, and different cultures. He grew up in Switzerland, Italy, and Spain and learned to speak 5 languages, including English, French, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. To the world, Audrey Hepburn was a glamorous actress, but to Sean, she was just his caring and loving mom. After divorcing Mel Ferrer in 1968, Audrey married an Italian doctor named Luca Dotti and focused more on being a mom than on acting. She raised Sean in Rome and took only a few film roles so she could stay close to home. Sean says he learned kindness, honesty, and love from the way his mom lived her life, not from her fame. As he grew up, Sean also joined the film world, but he preferred to work behind the camera. He worked as a first assistant director and producer on several movies, including Ironweed and Blood In, Blood Out. He liked stories that had strong messages and real emotions. In 2001, he made a documentary called Racehorse, about a man in prison who changes his life. In 2003, 10 years after Audrey passed away, Sean wrote a book called Audrey Hepburn, An Elegant Spirit. It was a personal and loving story about his mom, showing who she was as a person, not just a star. The book became very popular and helped people understand the kind and caring side of Audrey. Sean also worked hard to help others. In 1994, he started the Audrey Hepburn Children's Fund to raise money for kids in need. He also created a special traveling exhibit called Timeless Audrey, showing her personal things and photos to the public. Later, Sean began supporting rare disease awareness, helping raise attention and support for people with rare health conditions. In 2020, he and his wife Karen wrote a children's book called Little Audrey's Daydream, based on Audrey's life. The money from the book goes to charity. Sean's personal life has mostly stayed private. He's been married more than once and has 3 children. His daughter, Emma Kathleen Hepburn Ferrer, was born in 1994 in Morges, Switzerland. She didn't become an actress like Audrey, but she did go into art and modeling. Emma studied painting in Florence and has worked with UNICEF, just like her grandmother. She says she learned more from Audrey's values than from her fame. Sean also has 2 sons, Gregorio and Santiago Ferrer, from his marriage to Giovanna Gregory. Unlike Emma, they've stayed away from the public eye. Sean made sure they could grow up without pressure from the media or Hollywood. Today, Sean and his family live between Santa Monica, California, and Tuscany, Italy. He continues to write, help others, and keep Audrey's memory alive. Sean is a beautiful mix of both his parents, his father's creativity and his mother's kindness. Even though he has a famous name, he has lived a quiet and meaningful life. Through his work, books, and family, Sean makes sure that Audrey Hepburn's love and legacy live on. Number 2. Luca Dotti. Luca Andrea Dotti was born on February 8, 1970 in Lausanne, Switzerland. He's the younger son of movie legend Audrey Hepburn and Italian doctor Andrea Dotti. Audrey met Andrea in 1968 while on a trip to Greece, and they quickly formed a close bond. They married in January 1969 and then welcomed Luca. Luca's childhood was quiet and peaceful. He grew up in Switzerland and later in Rome, far away from the spotlight of Hollywood. In fact, he once shared that he didn't even realize his mom was famous until he was older because she focused on giving her kids a normal, simple life instead of showing off her fame. Luca became a graphic designer, a job that mixed his love for art with creative thinking. But alongside his design work, he also took on a big role in keeping his mom's memory alive. He joined the Audrey Hepburn Children's Fund, an organization his half-brother Sean Ferrer helped start. Luca later became the head of the group and helped organize worldwide exhibitions like Timeless Audrey, which showed Audrey's personal things to raise money for children's causes. In 2015, Luca wrote a heartwarming book called Audrey at Home: Memories of My Mother's Kitchen. It's full of personal stories, family photos, and even handwritten recipes from Audrey herself. The book gave fans a sweet look into Audrey's home life, where she made pasta with tomato sauce, enjoyed breakfast in bed, and loved spending time in the kitchen. Luca shared how his mom was not just a movie star, but a kind, down-to-earth mom who loved cooking, gardening, and just being with her family. He also described her as strong and brave when working with UNICEF, but also full of joy when trying out a new recipe or enjoying small things in life. It's this mix of strength and sweetness that made Audrey so special, and it's something Luca clearly learned from her. Luca lives in Rome with his wife, Domitilla Bertucci, and their 3 daughters. Their kids stay out of the public eye, and the family keeps things very private. But every now and then, Luca shares small moments with them, like snowy pictures or holiday memories, on social media, giving fans a peek into their happy and simple family life. Besides graphic design, Luca has written more books about his mom, like Audrey in Rome and Audrey Hepburn in Paris. These books include old photos, memories, and stories that bring Audrey to life, not as a movie star, but as a loving mother and real person. Audrey taught Luca to live simply, drink lots of water, eat vegetables, and find joy in everyday things. She avoided luxury and preferred the little things that made life beautiful. And Luca still lives by those lessons. He takes care of his family, works with love, and shares his mom's legacy in a way that feels real and honest. Today, as a father, writer, and designer, Luca Dotti quietly carries forward Audrey's spirit with kindness, creativity, and heart. He doesn't seek fame. Instead, he prefers the warm, gentle world of Audrey at Home, where family, food, and love matter the most. So, Audrey Hepburn's beauty wasn't just about how she looked. It lives on through her children. Her kindness, grace, and gentle spirit are clearly seen in the way her sons have grown and how they live their lives. Both Sean and Luca have not only carried her values, but also worked hard to keep her memory alive through their writing and charity efforts. Whether it's through helping others or living simply and with love, they show the world the same warmth Audrey once did. Her legacy isn't just in films, it's in the love her family continues to share with the world. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel as we bring you stories that celebrate beautiful lives. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.